Imagine if you were once a summoned hero who was fighting the final boss, but was mysteriously returned to Earth. What would you do if you were one day transported back to that world? In a classroom, Suzaku Setsu was lost deep in thought before he is interrupted by his childhood friend, Yuhi. He wishes for her to stop approaching him in public as he doesn't want false rumors to spread about them, but Yuhi doesn't mind. Rather, she is more interested in how long his hair is, and offers to cut it for him. He gives up and agrees to let her cut it, and he also wonders how the other world is doing. Suddenly, the view outside became dark, and a magic circle gradually spreads throughout the classroom. Everyone is in a panic, but Setsu seems expectant about a possibility. The magic seems to have transported them somewhere deserted, and while everyone is confused, Setsu seems to find the place familiar. They hear something in the distance, and what they see are demonic knights approaching them. As the enemies start charging toward them, the panicking students also start to run away. Setsu, however, is very calm. When the knights reach Setsu, Yuhi jumps in to protect him, but it was completely unnecessary, as with a mere flick of his finger, he sends it flying. Yuhi is confused about what happened, but Setsu quickly drags her away towards the others. On the other side, an army of soldiers charge past to clash with the demons. Melee combat doesn't work too well, but luckily there are mages to support the army from behind. The students watch from a distance, but Setsu is confused about why the battle is happening, as the wars should have ended years ago. A girl arrives on horseback, and she tells everyone to leave as this place is dangerous. Setsu seems to recognize her, and she is joined by another knight, who orders the army to charge. The man easily slays a demon, while the girl uses magic to mow down the enemies. While the demons are distracted, Setsu quickly leads Yuhi away to safety. They ended up in the nation of Destinia, where the students are greeted by the king, who calls them otherworld heroes. He explains that the kingdom is being invaded by demons, and proclaims fate has summoned everyone to help the country, just as the original hero did to stop the previous war 5 years ago. The princess elaborates that an otherworld hero had appeared to bring peace 5 years ago, and lowers herself to ask for everyone's aid in the war effort. The students are concerned for themselves, and just wish to remain safe, but the princess somehow takes their hesitation as agreement as she thanks them for their determination. As everyone leaves, Setsu promises Yuhi he will keep her safe. Not long after, the training now begins in earnest. Students are taught that magic is all about having a solid mental image. The girls look constipated, and Yuhi is able to produce some flames, impressing Setsu as he stalks her. He gets caught while walking around, and we learn the girl's name is Elka. She criticizes him for his disrespect and slacking off instead of training. But Setsu doesn't care, and his selfish attitude reminds her of the previous hero of 5 years ago. She criticizes the hero as capricious, egotistical, and uncaring to women's feelings. She warns him it's a dangerous world and advises him to return to training, but he'd rather she try and force him. She charges at him, but he dodges, and slaps her cake, leaving her aroused at the familiar sensation. Elka now recognizes him as the previous hero, and bows to him in complete submission. As Setsu wonders how long she'll kneel in front of him, Elka excitedly exclaims she's his chair. He ends up sitting on her, and she expresses her pleasure from being his slave. Setsu just finds it creepy how masochistic she is, but Elka finds delight from suffering. The male warrior, Glain, is baffled by their position, but as Elka explains that Setsu was back, along with her weird fetish, he comes to believe her. The group rushes over to inform their companion Thea, but she's already known of his return from the familiar magic power she's sensed. Glain isn't strong with magic, so he didn't know, while Elka pretends she knew all along. Setsu expresses his happiness to return to them, and they welcome him back, happy that he is alive and well. He considers them lucky to be safe considering the battles that broke out while he was away. Setsu wants clarification on the ongoing war with the demons, while his companions also wish to know what happened to him. From their perspective, he abruptly disappeared after his final battle, and Setsu isn't too sure himself. He remembers facing off against Toma, and in their final clash an explosion of magical power happens. Setsu then found himself reborn on Earth with intact memories and magic power, but found himself summoned again many years later. Everyone seems to believe that it's the work of destiny, but Setsu changes the topic back to the war and his suspicions that Toma might be behind the current war. He felt a familiar magic curse on the demon knights he encountered earlier, but according to the group, Toma had also disappeared after their battle, so he might still be alive. Glain is then called away to meet with the king, and Elka states this would have been his job, but Setsu doesn't want to be held back by duties. His original plan was to travel the world after restoring order, and they reflect that the hard-won peace has to be maintained. In a meeting with the king and his officials, the king declares all-out war against the demons. Glain wishes for the king to wait for their emissary to return, but the princess emphasizes that it was the demons that initiated the attack unprovoked. With the timely appearance of the new heroes, she believes that justice is on their side. Even the king seems smug, as he criticizes the previous hero for wanting a non-aggression pact, and agrees that fate is on the side of humanity. With this, there is nothing Glain can do. Yuhi is practicing magic outside and is making some progress. Setsu appears and compliments her talent, and while she's happy with his compliments, she's hesitant to use it to hurt others. However, she promises to use her talent to protect Setsu, and he's happy to see her mood change. The hero party meets in secret, and Glain states he's bought them time, stalling by arguing the new heroes need more time to train. Setsu decides to step up and stop the war himself. Everyone wants to follow him, but he stops them, saying he'll be traveling alone this time. He can't have them abandon their posts, especially since they make up a crucial part of the fighting force. They reluctantly agree, but before he leaves, he needs to retrieve something. Inside the castle, Thea made the party invisible, allowing them to sneak in. Security is tight, but Elka just charges in and beats up a soldier without mercy, much to Glain's exasperation. The man is stuffed into a crate, and they enter an old storage, where Setsu locates his Buster Sword. The guards timely find the knocked-out guard, and the castle is put on high alert. Glain states he'll buy them time, and Thea has Elka follow Setsu, so she is happily dragged away by him. They've made it outside the city, and Elka is about to see him off, but Yuhi rushes over, concerned why he is leaving. Setsu then confesses that this is his second time being summoned, and he wishes to go meet some acquaintances to stop the war. She pleads for him to take her as well, but she'll only hold him back. He doesn't want to put her in danger. Instead, Yuhi asks Setsu to close his eyes, and she uses magic to cut his hair. He's impressed with her simultaneous usage of magic, and Yuhi declares that she'll work hard to get stronger to protect Setsu. He playfully flicks her forehead, and tells her if she can dodge next time, she would pass his test. Saying their last goodbyes, Setsu sets off on his journey.